America, film my phone, and welcome to another video. Today we are getting back into Björk with our first listening to an album in 2023 from the Icelandic singer-songwriter, and that is with Biophilia. This album came out a while ago. It came out in 2011, but better late than never. It is one of the missing pieces. It's between Volta and Vulnicura, both projects of which I like certain songs on them, but neither of which are my favorite project from her. And so I'm excited to hear about this project because I heard it's a lot more about like nature and loving life and I know upbeat in a way. That's what I've been told, but I could definitely be very wrong. So I'm very excited to see how this project turns out. It's an hour and 4 minutes, so we got a lot of material to get through. So anyway, thank you for requesting this video. Let's get into it. Track number 1 is Moon. Okay, starting on a harp. It's beautiful. I didn't think it was gonna be this minimalist though. My adrenaline pearls, they picked them up. Rinse all of the fear. Ooh. Saliva, dang, you are getting descriptive about what's going in their mouths. Ooh, there's a little more percussion. So yeah, they're bass drum or a timpani, I can't tell. Once again, be reborn. I love how she does that little trail off that goes up on her notes. Best way to start anew. The best way is to fail miserably. Ooh. Oh, I like this humming. Björk's voice is always so beautiful. So that was Moon, and that was a calm way to start off this album. Definitely not the upbeat that I thought it was, but this song was enjoyable. It's about basically being born again and being renewed, and sometimes the best way to do that is to fail miserably, to go through life-threatening circumstances and start again. Yeah, it basically connects us in nature and the cycle. Apparently this album is also inspired by the financial crisis that happened in Iceland from 2008 to 2011. I think that pretty much just goes with the United States recession a little bit too. So she was thinking, I guess, about these themes of all of this going to pieces and figuring out how to start again. And she's definitely tying it to nature because we've always been bonded in some way to nature. I think this is a very hopeful song. It's calm and light because I feel like a lot of Björk's happy songs generally, at least nowadays, are very calm and reflective. Yeah, I think this makes sense within her discography. This makes sense as an opener. I wonder if we're gonna get a little more energetic, but I can see myself liking this song, but I have to be in a more calm mood. And right now I realize already that I'm already very tired today. So we will see how energized this album makes me, or if it's one that will help me get a nap later. Track number 2 is Thunderbolt. Oh, we just jumped right in. Desire. Craving miracles. Oh, it's getting a little more ominous. Oh, let's make some percussion in. Oh, I like how it's energizing a little bit. I like some of these synths here that are kind of funky and mix a little bit with the more natural organic components. Oh, does it speed up? Oh, I like these little beats. This one with micro beats. Okay, Arca Inspo. So that was Thunderbolt, and I was thinking I was gonna get a more electrifying song, a little more upbeat, because it's quite literally a thunderbolt. It goes, wow, wow. And it was not that. Okay, I'll accept that because the inspirations of the song are very interesting. Apparently, she's using the sound of like a Tesla coil being fired up. You know, a very electrifying thing that creates the bass line of the song. and there's some arpeggios, and it's like, it's supposed to be in motion, but it's not fast. And I get that in the song she's saying, have I too often been craving miracles, which I think she's referring to inspiration, music inspiration, and lyrical inspiration. And, you know, like when an idea strikes, it strikes like lightning, as we say, a thunderbolt. Maybe she's saying here that she's wanting to have these miracles happen, these bursts of inspiration, but sometimes they're not coming because she's too often been craving them. So she has to seek it within herself to find the inspiration, I guess, and not have it come like a lightning bolt. However, that makes the song a little less jolty because she doesn't get that miracle. I get it in terms of the song, but also it feels false advertising to name it Thunderbolt if you're not gonna get a thunderbolt of sound in the song. I don't know, that's just me. I really love when Björk is a little more upbeat. Her slower songs can be enjoyable, but I'm not as consistently in the mood for them generally. So I was hoping with Thunderbolt we'd get a little more. It was an interesting song. It was an engaging song. Yeah, it was a song for sure that I think I'll listen to again. I don't think it's going to be one I would skip on the album, but I don't know how often I'm going to listen to the album if it's all going to be at this tempo. Track number 3 is Crystalline. Ooh, that does feel like you're playing on some mallet percussion. Do you say crystals grow like plants? Well, listen how they grow. I think you're making us hear it. Crystalline. Oh, I love how they say that. Oh, we're getting some percussion here. Ooh, fun. Ooh, it all just boomed away. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, like that whoosh. I compare claustrophobia. Okay. Sonic branches. Does that sound like a helicopter? A hyperpop moment? I knew you could do it, Björk. I knew you could do it. Oh my god, this is such a jam now. You woke me up. So that was Crystalline, and whoa. Crystalline. And then it has break beats. Oh my god, that was incredible. I love that. That was magnificent. Björk was like, we're gonna scare you for the first 2 songs. Not that the first 2 songs aren't good. It was just that if that's what the whole tone of the album was gonna be, fully, all the way, probably wasn't gonna be my record. But this song, first of all, it doesn't shy away from being very Björk-like in her doing the Crystalline. And the chorus, I feel like she gets to have her moment, and she's still talking educationally, as this album is really trying to talk about natural concepts in an educational way. She's still talking about crystals. She's still talking about what she wants to talk about, but she's doing it in a way that's a lot more engaging to me personally than the Thunderbolt or Moon was. Moon is definitely a song for the folklore girlies, or anyone who liked all the acoustic stuff that was happening during the pandemic. And then Thunderbolt is a cool work, more technically speaking, than I think lyrically and entertainment-wise. Crystalline strikes the balance of, this is a message of a song that's not just about crystals, it's also about her conquering her anxieties, and she's finally feeling free, and that's how she's able to have that giant breakbeat that happens at the end. That was so much fun. I vibe to it heavily. Definitely my favorite song so far. More of that, please. Or even other stuff that's, again, in the upbeat, like, get you going. And I like that it connects to outside of just the environment, because environmental songs are lovely, but I like it when it feels more connected to me. I guess Thunderbolt does do that too, but Crystalline definitely did it within a song that was catchier, and definitely something that could get you up off your feet. Track number 4 is Cosmogony. Ooh, it's raising. Make me wonder. Heaven's bodies. Oh, are we talking about the cosmos in this one? Oh, the universe being a cold black egg. They carved it up into the world we know. Oh, this is a lot of origin stories here. Did they say a certain man and then there was light? Yeah, God. This is an ominous sound. It's like the voices from before that were raising, now it's lowering. So that was Cosmogony, and that was a very like reflective, introspective song. That's a song to relax and think about life. That's like if you need to write a philosophy essay and you don't know where to start, you turn on this song. This one's for you. But unlike the other songs that are dealing with nature, this one deals more with the cosmos and more about creation myths in particular. I looked it up and I just want to get it right. There's the Miwok Native American one, the Sanskrit, which also seems to describe the Chinese Pengu creation myth story. Then there's the Australian natives story, and then the Big Bang Theory, which interestingly enough, Björk calls it a 20th century creation myth, which I think is interesting and I think is a good way to reflect on that. Science can be really helpful and important in understanding things, but we just have different ways of understanding things, and in 3,000 years, what is going to be the creation myth of our universe, unless we've somehow figured it out. But the song was very peaceful. It definitely is a song that works within Björk's tradition of keeping songs very long. That is really her gig. She doesn't always know when to make a song shorter, but she does make the song feel it's like I'm okay with it being this length because it really is just that peaceful type of song. You don't want it to be only 2 minutes and then going back to something chaotic. So I thought this one was chill. It was a vibe. It was something that necessitated its length, whereas some other of Björk songs just are long and they feel long. But I like her going into different myths. I like her talking about the world and how she's just looking up at the stars and it makes her wonder. I think it's definitely very relatable, and I like that she gets her sources from all over. Track number 5 is Dark Matter. Ominous organ starting a song. It's starting very quiet. I gotta like strain to hear it. Is this in English or something? I really cannot understand the word she's saying. It almost sounds like it's like backwards English, or it's just a different language. Or it could also be Björk's choice to do some gibberish. So that was Dark Matter, and I was right. It is a very classic piece of Björk gibberish. This is a song that is made for the art of it, because it is very ominous. I don't think anyone would listen to the song and like feel reassured or calm or energized, or those are really the songs that I really relate to. Catharticized, relaxed. I can't think of a reason to have this song on other than to make you feel uneasy, or if just us listening to this entire album. This one is very chaotic for the fact of being like, oh, you know, we're gonna just do the whole thing in gibberish. But it's about dark matter, and since you can't really observe it and fully understand what it is, but we just infer it because of gravity's effects. I'm not a physicist. Do not quote me on anything about dark matter, but I believe that's what it's about. I really don't know. But because of that, I guess it makes sense that she doesn't have anything that you can fully understand, because it's something that we don't actually understand either. Sonically, again, it's a song that just makes you feel uneasy. It kind of reminds me of Caroline Polachek's work on Crude Drawing of an Angel or Hope Drunk Ever Asking. Those songs just made me feel like sad / uneasy. But those even had real words with it. And this does not. So I don't know what that says about Björk. I don't know what this says about Caroline. But this was an interesting song. Again, this one that's like, you see the art piece and you're not going to buy it, but you're like, huh, and you thought about it. They didn't make that piece to be profitable, but they did make it to be interesting and thought-provoking. And I think it is definitely going to evoke a lot of thoughts. Well, obviously it came out 12 years ago. It has evoked some thoughts for people. Track number 6 is Hollow. Oh, it's speeding up. Okay. How is this made? Feels like woodwind, but I don't know how you make it that staccato. I don't know, I was a percussionist. I want to say it's clarinets and maybe a little flute. Oh, Björk's coming back. Oh, got a little more staccato and loud. Oh, we're getting a little funky now. Oh, just slowed. Why? Oh. So that was Hollow, and that is about DNA. Okay. She took a DNA test, which was that common for everyone to do that then? Because it's common for people to do that now. I haven't done one because I haven't really found the reason to yet, but I know it's like trendy to do that now. But was it trendy back then? I have no idea. Let me know if you were conscious of that at that time. But she was thinking about how all the generations before, all of them were shit folk. And yes, she's from Iceland. That's your main economic source, so that makes sense. So she was interested and she was inspired and thinking about her ancestors, and she's thinking how she's just a bead on this like everlasting necklace. It's just DNA and passing down of traits and heredity. And she's hollow, I think, by herself, but because she has everyone with her and all the proteins and all the nucleotides and all the things bonding together, you become the full person that you are. I think that's generally what she's getting at. It's, you know, a little abstract, a little bits of concrete mixed with a lot of abstract. So I didn't fully get it. I liked the woodwind moments at the beginning and the end, and I see that there's a extended version later. Whenever it's going to be that, she also could expand the fast part. I would not complain about that. But I think I like this song. I need to hear it again for sure, especially along with the rest of the album. You know, with Björk especially, I have to listen to the album again without stopping to really feel whether or not I'm really vibing with it. Track number 7 is Virus. Ooh, I like this. It's nice and like calm. Like a virus. Oh, that's not gonna be good. Feeds on blood. Ooh, like a leech? Ooh, she has a crystalline voice. Like a mushroom. Oh, I don't think she knew what Fasora was gonna be yet. This is the calm vibe that I actually need from some of those slower songs. Is she a virus right now? Oh, Crystalline. My sweet adversary. Hmm? Ooh. That's like, you're gonna isolate that? Ooh. I don't know, that just touches like my spirit. So that was Virus, and this is about a toxic relationship, but a parasitic one. And Björk, you know her. She likes to be very literal in her analogies, to be quite detailed with them, and basically being like, I am a virus, and I'm infecting you. I'm going to, you know, basically, the cells feed on your blood. It's gross. Honestly, it's such a beautiful song. Like, all the thing that were like, ding, 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 like, absolutely wonderful. I think some of those parts were in Crystalline as well. It was just gorgeous. The song sonically, like up there. Lyrically, I don't know. I think if I just ignore them, because I don't need to think about a parasitic relationship. I'm definitely not the one who's going to be parasitic in a relationship. I don't think I'd be on the receiving end of a parasitic relationship, because I think I do know the warning signs by now. But yeah, that was very interesting. Did you hear that metaphor? Yeah, definitely sonically. Oh my god, I just can't get over how sonically gorgeous it is. Lyrically, also because of the pandemic that we just went through, which obviously had not happened yet. But I don't think Björk had really dealt with that. And as a result, she, I don't know, is not really aware in her sonics of that. I feel like she was in a similar way, not like that during Fasora as well, because, you know, she was in Iceland and, you know, they didn't let you leave pretty much, but that was it, right? They didn't get affected that much. I don't think it was like that catastrophic as it was in a lot of other places. Slash has been in a lot of places. This falls into the sonically, oh my gosh, so gorgeous. Lyrically, I probably will get over it eventually. But for now, I'm like, not my favorite lyrical message on this album. Track number 8 is Sacrifice. Respect her spatial needs. With clairvoyance, she knew what you needed. She surrendered. Is this like the other perspective of Virus? Now she regrets the whole thing. Oh no. Oh, okay. Did I understand? No, not really, but I did like this. Sonics. Oh. We're back to where we were. Yes, back into this groove again. So that was Sacrifice. And that was an interesting song. Sonically, it had that chill mode of like, okay, this is a chill, maybe Björkish type song. And then we get into the I cannot recreate it with my mouth, but it was energizing. It was lovely. I love the contrast. She can do a good contrast. She knows how to make it an upbeat song. She can do beats like that. I know that she can, and I love her for that. Sacrifice was apparently inspired by her going on a trip to Puerto Rico, and apparently while she was there, I don't think it was for that long, a lot of our couples, they got divorced. It's so interesting they all got divorced at the same time, and I don't know why. I'm not going to speculate. I don't even know who these people are, but Björk talked to all the people, and she decided to make this song that's kind of like the similarities that the women in those relationships were having, and the complaints that they were having, and the overall problems that were being caused, and kind of turns into a feminist look, like, oh, like, you can have a child and still be a successful career person. You can do both. She mentions about women often being repressed in an intimate way, or that men take up so much space generally, and it leaves very little room for women to have their space as well. So yeah, I mean, it's a feminist song, and it is a good song. I like the upbeat moments. I'll have to definitely like listen to it more now that I fully understand what's going on, because it's not a reference to Virus, although I think it following it nicely in the track list makes a lot of sense, because you're talking about someone who's, you know, harming their partner, and then this is like the how dare you should realize what you've done to your partner. It does flow nicely, and even though this is not necessarily as much about regular natural phenomena, this is more about mating rituals, which is still even as people connected to the natural world. And I think it's actually good that Björk has a song like this on the album, because it helps us remember that humans are part of the natural world. We're not separate from it. There are certain things that we tend to think, oh, this is not part of the environment, but it is, because everything has to be. So yeah, I think that was a clever choice, and I don't know how intentional it was, because she calls it the odd one out, but I think it very much belongs. Track number 9 is Mutual Core. Ooh, like, what is that? That's not an organ. Maybe some key instrument. Oh, the tectonic plates. Oh, are we getting to earth science? You know I gave it all. To try to change seasonal shifts. So you're trying to get out of seasonal depression too? As fast as your fingernail grows. Well, that's not that fast. The Atlantic Ridge drifts. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's relevant to Iceland. Ooh, effort. I don't know how she does those R rolls so well. Oh, okay. Bop it up. You didn't know I had it in me. I knew though, Björk. Oh, she's rhyming and she's going. Oh, but now it died down. Like an eruption, now the lava's flowing. Let's get into it. Oh, I love how it like brings it in and out. Ooh, I feel something coming from the underneath. Oh my god. So that was Mutual Core. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Oh my gosh. Okay, the upbeat is backloaded. Yeah, no, this was fun. Also, I studied environmental studies, and I did earth science in particular. So this was like, oh, I'm geeking out a bit. She's talking about a relationship in the realm of plate tectonics. She's talking about volcanic activity. She's talking about, you know, plates moving. There's also things called subduction zones, if you don't know, which is when plates collide, one has to go underneath the other. So she's saying that her lover wants her to go underneath rather than them form together to form mountains. That's also another way that they can form together. That ridge can create either new tectonic plate or maybe a volcano or something like that. Yes, I love it because when she is resisting talking about her feelings, that boils over eventually. It builds up all that tension and it explodes, and that's why we're getting those explosive reasons. It feels more specific explosions than the sacrifice one, which I understand having that rage as well, but I didn't understand it as well as the mutual core metaphor. I don't know exactly where in the song it was most relevant, versus here it was like, oh, you didn't know it, and now it's time for me to let you know. Her track number 9 has almost never failed to be chaotic, and I love that she did it with this one. I've actually been to the ridge that she was talking about, how that ridge drifts as fast as your fingernail, which is not fast at all, not at all, but over, you know, years and centuries, eventually they'll be very pulled apart, and also the Atlantic Ocean will just be a lot bigger. So Iceland is the only place above ground where that happens, and I've been to where it's been, and it was really cool. I was like, I will see if I can find a photo, because it was really cool to just be like, oh my god, it's here, we found it. Yeah, that was quite cool when I went to Iceland. I want to go back. Every time I listen to a Björk album, I'm like, let me go back to Iceland. It would be so cool to go back to Iceland. But yeah, I think that's pretty interesting that that happens to be the case. I feel like she gets to have her own unique perspective. Not that there's a lot of songs out there that are about volcanoes and other earth science that's done in an interesting and also, I don't know, well-distributed way. Maybe some very underground bands, but Björk is really the type who's going to do this, and I'm glad that she did it, because yeah, she went off and I loved it. I apologize for my nerdy moments, but it was needed and it hit right, and yeah, no, I love this one. Track number 10 is Solstice. This one still kind of sounds like Moon, actually. You remember why it gets dark and why it gets light again? Oh, it's about the sun, maybe? Oh, it's called Solstice. I forgot the song was called Solstice. Yes, seasons, sun. She's really belting on this song. You are a light bearer. So it was Solstice, and that was a peaceful way to, I don't know if it's really the end of the album, because we have the hollow full version, and then we also have the choir and organ version of Dark Matter. But then we also have a track Nattura. So I wasn't classifying it as the end of the album, but I don't know if it actually is, and then those other 3 are considered like bonus tracks. I have no idea. Let me know what you think about that. I'll probably have more thoughts about it when I get to Nattura. But the song was very peaceful, very much reminded me of Moon. It's based on a poem from one of Björk's longtime collaborators, Sean. I think that's how S-J-O-N is pronounced. But he wrote this poem about the 4 seasons are being caused by the tilt of the earth, and he just sang it. And it was beautiful. It was very calming. It, again, is very much like Moon and a little bit like Cosmogony, in that it's something that's like very peaceful to turn on if you want something like light to listen to at the same time. Yeah, it's just very chill. It doesn't have the energy that's Mutual Core, for example, had, or even Sacrifice. It doesn't do any of the chaotic bits of Crystalline either. It is just a nice chill song. And I think, again, within most of Björk's albums, which I still don't know if this is the closer, but she tends to end with a chill thing, like All Is Full of Love, or Her Mother's House, is that what it was called from the thing? Most of the end songs are very chill and relaxed, and yeah, it's understandable. I get it. yeah, this is not going to be my favorite on the album, but honestly, I didn't find anything wrong with it. I wasn't even bored by it. It was nearly 5 minutes, but not quite. I think it just felt like a little bit of zen, honestly, and sometimes you need a little bit of that. Track number 11 is Hollow, the original extended version, and then track number 12 is The Dark Matter with choir and organ. I'm going to play those back to back because I don't think I'm going to be needing to look up anything new about that. So we'll listen to both of those and then we'll talk about both of those before finally diving into Nattura. Are you ready? Oh yes, we already got this part again. I remember I liked it. Oh, it gets so fast. I think it entered at the same time, so maybe it's just the end part. Was that there before? I really didn't remember that. She's part of it. She's part of that everlasting necklace. I think it has had to be somewhere in this middle part because we already hit past the runtime. And we get this fun little minute. Let me belong. And now into Dark Matter. Question has occurred to me. If she wants to play this at her show, does she know the gibberish? Is it memorized? The organ is actually pretty faint in this mix, I think. So is the choir really only singing the oohs, not the rest of the gibberish? That might be a little complicated. So that was the Hollow original extended version and Dark Matter with the choir and the organ. Both of these are fine. I'm still not going to listen to Dark Matter much. I still don't really see the purpose of me listening to it. And I don't know, I didn't feel like there was a big difference. The organ and the choir, they were there, but I guess I don't remember too much the other original version as much. It was just eerie, and it still is eerie here. So I think it still is just another version that you can listen to if Dark Matter is really the song for you. For the Hollow extended thing, I think the extension was in the middle with some of the aggressive sounds because the beginning and the end with the woodwinds were roughly about that same thing. I thought it was going to be extended of that, but I guess not. So I don't know where that middle part is. I guess I didn't pay too much attention to the original Hollow to realize a big difference, but hopefully on some re-listens I'll know. But if you know any major differences I should have really picked up, please let me know. I'm happy to be enlightened on that. And let me know which of the versions for Hollow and Dark Matter you prefer. I, for one, probably prefer the shorter one of Hollow because I don't need a 7-minute song that's that song. There's certain 7-minute songs that do get played in my rotation, but I don't think Hollow will be one that I would prefer to add an extra minute to. And Dark Matter, I don't know if I'm going to see me listening to it much regularly at all. So for me, I don't have a strong preference at this moment. But with that, let's get into track number 13, last track on this album, Nattura. Ooh, it sounds like waves maybe? Or thundering? I'm not quite sure. Whatever it is, it's natural. Okay. Drum it up. It's given marching band in a thunderstorm. Nattura! This is giving throwback. This is like Helmogenic. Oh, some cymbals getting added to the mix. Oh my gosh, can you imagine this song and many of the other aggressive ones in headphones? Oh, that noise got added in. You take me. Oh, it's fading out and it's got this noise. Oh, and I feel like all the waves or the storm clouds, those sounds are also fading now too. So that was Nattura. And no, I'm going to say Solstice was the end, which makes more sense for a Björk album because Nattura was written for a foundation that she set up in 2008. And she actually took the outtakes of the drums from Earth Intruders, which is why it's a bop. So chaotic. Love that. And she's singing in Icelandic, so didn't fully get all of it. It's basically about nature being unpredictable, though. And she's saying that, like, she's been raised by nature and nature's creating this chaos for her. And I think that's mainly the gist of it. She made the song. She was just editing it in a hotel room, took those drums that they actually didn't use for Earth Intruders, and then just made it into something awesome. And oh my god, it's explosive. But it's definitely not the way that Björk would end an album. She would never end on such a chaotic note on her very last song. She'll always save a chaotic moment for right before and then have that. But because the song didn't really have a place to be otherwise, why not put it on this record, which is about nature anyway. So I think it fits, but definitely not the proper closer of the album. That was definitely for Solstice, very much a type of song that Björk's gonna choose to end the album. But that does not mean Nattura is not good. I'm so glad I listened to it because it could be one of my favorites on this album. It is so good. I'm a percussionist. Let the record stand. I'm a percussionist. This is percussion heavy. It just makes sense. With that said, we have finished this album, and I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought, we were gonna get an energetic project, and then we started off a little slow, and then we got into boom, boom, boom. And I don't know, I just got energized by the end of this. I remembered my love for life, Biophilia. She covers a lot of educational concepts. I think that could definitely be useful in environmental education efforts. I feel like she might not be the most relatable figure as some people like in the United States. It's like, oh, who is she? This Icelandic woman who's, been this pop sensation for years now. What is she gonna tell me about nature? And she does it in her own very specific Björk way. So it might not be the most accessible, but I know that this was also an app, and then there was a lot of workshops about it. Please let me know how those went. Were they effective? Do more people really vibe with nature more now than they did before? Because I feel like in Iceland and Scandinavia and those European countries, nature's already ground and bound up in society. So it's not really something that you have to teach so much about, like loving nature, because that's something that you guys already do. Whereas in the United States, I don't think that is the case. But I don't know if this album is that accessible to people here. I think it's more accessible to people who already love nature. Like, I do love nature, but I don't know if some of my friends who could benefit from going outside more, I don't know if they're the same way, and I don't know if Björk would really help them understand. That said, every time it went upbeat, it was good. Björk knows that when she does an upbeat song, it's gonna be good. I don't think there was a single Björk song that was upbeat that I didn't like. So I think I knew that when those moments would come up, I would love it. The calm songs are generally good too. I do like some reflecting moments. I've been trying to do some more reflection and introspection more lately, and I think some of these songs will assist with that. If they connect to me on a relatable lyrical message, I definitely will vibe with them more, and that's just how it is. I think this album is, I don't know where Thunderbolt really stands, but I would say Utopia and before, this might be my favorite album I've listened to her since Homogenic. Maybe Vespertine. And then I still haven't listened to Medulla yet. And then at some point I'm going to re-listen to Post. I know that's going to happen at some point. Those are the two main albums. Is there any other things from Björk that I should be listening to? Please let me know, because I would like to get through her entire discography with y'all. That's definitely something that's on my list to do at some point. We go through some space and phases, but I think this is a great environmental record, especially as things are, in theory, warming up. It just got freezing cold again, like yesterday. But I'm hopeful that it'll warm up a little bit and I'll get to experience some more nature. This is definitely Björk really falling in love with nature. I think it's a record I could potentially fall in love with. I'm not quite sure, but I'll at least take it on a second date. That said, here are some of my favorites. So the top tier are the songs I love, the standouts, the ones I'm going to be playing over and over again. The songs in the middle are songs I like. I'll add them to my playlist, but they might not be at the top of the top. And songs at the bottom are just not really for me. Doesn't mean they're a bad song. Doesn't mean they can't be your favorite song. Just means it's not for me. And that's okay. Björk did not make this album for me. She made it for the love of life. Also, no, I'm not going to rank the Hollow and Dark Matter, the alternate versions. It just doesn't make sense to me. If you like this video, please like it. Please comment down below what you'd like me to react to or do next on my channel. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already and you'd like to be. And thanks for watching. This is TurtleStormer. Catch you later.
Get out of the dark and get into my heart. You gotta do your part for a brand new start. Don't it just feel right? Looking in my eyes, so till